President Trump's special envoy to Ukraine arrived in Kyiv overnight. Kellogg is expected to discuss security and also sanctions against Russia with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. And that meeting comes as President Trump says he will make a major announcement and statement today about Russia's war in Ukraine. NewsNation's Tom Dempsey is live at the White House with more there. Tom, what are we expecting from the president today?
Hey, good morning, Markie. Good morning from the White House, where later today, President Donald Trump will be meeting directly with the NATO Secretary General. But this meeting all comes as President Trump has voiced a lot of frustration recently with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, and now the U.S. plans to send more weapons to Ukraine.
I haven't agreed on the number yet, but they're going to have some because they do need protection. But the European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice, and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
Now, that meeting here at the White House with the Secretary General comes after President Trump announced plans to sell weapons to NATO recently that can then be provided to Ukraine. The president has really pushed for this war in Europe to come to an end, but he has really grown annoyed with Putin for not doing enough to reach a ceasefire. So with that meeting happening later today here at the White House, we also know Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will also be part of those talks. Markie?
Yeah, and Tom, you have a lot of people, a lot of lawmakers saying, you know, we need to enact more severe sanctions on Russia. How quickly could Congress take up those new sanctions?
Yeah, it's not just the White House here that we're talking about the U.S. response. There's also legislation being discussed on Capitol Hill, and some Senate Republicans actually spoke to NewsNation directly recently, saying a vote could come as soon as this week on a package of sanctions targeting Russia. Now, to dive into this a little bit further, legislation being worked on will focus on the Russian oil industry, and part of that plan involves a 500% tariff against countries that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, or other exports. Brazil, China, and India would be some of the hardest hit countries from that tariff. Part of this plan might also include tapping into some $300 billion in Russian assets frozen by some of the world's leading economies. All of this happening to try and bring about an end to the war still being fought in Europe, Markie.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.